大家好. Today's lesson will be a short fable, a short story, and then we will go over a little bit of vocabulary that goes along with the story. 好的, let's begin. 上课. Okay, so I will read the story, and please follow along as I'm reading aloud. Okay? 好的. North Wind and Sun were arguing about who was more powerful. North Wind said that he was more powerful because he could blow very hard. But Sun said that he was most powerful because his heat rays were so strong. They decided to have a contest to see who could pull the clothes off of a pedestrian first. The winner would be declared the most powerful. North Wind started first. He saw a pedestrian walking by and started to blow. He blew with great strength, but the harder he blew, the tighter the pedestrian pulled at his coat for warmth. North Wind saw that he couldn't succeed, so he invited Sun to try. Sun began to smile, and when he smiled, his rays glowed very warmly. As he smiled, the pedestrian began to loosen his coat. The harder he smiled, the hotter it became, and the more the pedestrian loosened his coat. Sun continued to shine until the pedestrian Sun continued to shine until the pedestrian not only took off his coat, but his sweater, his socks, and his shoes as well. He even pulled up his pants and waded in the stream nearby. Sun smiled happily, and North Wind agreed that Sun is truly the most powerful. The moral? Persuasion is better than force. 好的. Okay, let's go over a few key vocabulary words that were used in this story. We can begin here with number 1, to argue. Argue. This is when two people don't agree about something, and they sometimes yell and disagree. It's called arguing. BR. Powerful. Having great power. I don't know. Is that powerful? Don't know. Powerful. Very strong. Very strong. The sun. Blow. To move air. Blow. The 4. Heat. The quality of being hot. So the sun makes heat. Fire makes heat. Sometimes if it's cold in the wintertime, we have heat in our house. Number 5. Contest. An occasion in which people compete against each other for a prize. A contest is a type of game where everyone is trying to win. That's called a contest. This is a good one. 第六, number 6. Pedestrian. Pedestrian is a person that is walking. Anyone that is walking is called a pedestrian. 好的, let's take a look at the next page, some of these. Number 13. Persuasion. Persuasion is when you try to use your words to convince someone to agree with you. Persuasion uses our words to make someone agree with us. In this story, yes, that's good. Let's take a look at some of the sayings and proverbs that are listed here. 第一, number 1. Persuasion is better than force. So what this means is that it's better to use our words to make someone agree with us than to use our muscles. Better to use our words. This is a proverb, a saying. Saying a little bit like 成语. Number 2. DR. More than enough is too much. So this is saying don't overdo things. There's no need. I think there's a Chinese story about a snake that had feet. It's too much. The snake doesn't need feet. It can just crawl like this. So that would be too much. 好的. Let's take a little look at some of the true-false questions. Okay. Number 1. South wind and the sun disputed as to which was the most powerful. Is this true or false? Think about it for a second. That's true. Correct. They had a contest to see who was the most powerful because they both thought that they were the most powerful. So they had a contest to find out. Number 2. Sun first tried his power and blew with all his might. Is that true or is that false? Did Sun try to blow? No. False. The south wind was the one that tried to blow. Number 3. The contest was not fair. What do you think? What do you think? Was it fair? True. It was a fair contest. Each person did their best. South wind blew, and the sun used his heat. Okay, let's move on to some of the discussion questions. Number 1. What is this story about? What is the story about? Okay, anyone? This story is about a contest between the south wind and the sun to see who could make a person take their clothes off. Could the wind blow it off, or could the sun make them too hot and they had to take their clothes off? Number 2. Who is the wind's enemy? Good question. I am not sure that I would... My opinion, I don't think the wind had an enemy in this story. The wind had a competitor, someone that was competing against them in the contest. and that was the sun. But I feel like they are friends, not enemies. 好的. Okay, this was a brief 10-minute overview of this fable. So I encourage you to go through the rest of the vocabulary and the true-false questions and discussion questions. And if you have any questions at all, please contact me anytime. I'm here to help. 我们现在下课，大家谢谢你们。下次见。See you next time. Bye bye.